We'll let Webb jump in when he gets there. Les, you want to tell him?
Yep.
Let me know when we're live.
Okay, we're live.
All right. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order for the City of Jeffersonville Common Council. It is April the 20th at 7 p.m. If we could have a roll call vote, or a roll call, please.
Councilperson White,
Present.
Councilperson Burns,
Present.
Councilperson Paris,
Here.
Council Vice President Maples,
Here.
did he reply? I didn't hear anything.
Yes, he said here.
Okay, sorry. Councilperson Cross,
Here.
Here.
Councilperson Webb,
Present.
Council President Owen,
Here.
Councilperson Hawkins,
Here.
Councilperson Ellis.
Here.
Let the record
right.
reflect all council members are present by the
All
phone.
right. We've got everybody here. Let's go ahead. We have minutes from April the 6th, 2020. If there's no additions or corrections, take a motion.
Motion to
Make a
approve
motion
minutes.
to approve. Second.
Motion, Mr. Burns. Second, Mr. Paris. Roll call vote.
Councilperson White,
Aye.
Councilperson Burns,
Aye.
Councilperson Paris,
Aye.
Council Vice President Maples, I'm not hearing him. Is he responding?
I think he's frozen. He's made it.
Scotty, can you hear us? Scotty.
I'm cutting in and out. I'm losing people. I voted aye.
Okay.
Okay. Councilperson Cross,
Aye.
Councilperson Webb,
Aye.
Council President Owen,
Aye.
Councilperson Hawkins,
Aye.
Councilperson Ellis,
Aye.
9-0.
All right. We have claims to be approved. We have claims for Civil City. There's a change. There's a
Yeah.
duplicate claim.
Matt, you approve of the agenda first.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Approval of the agenda. We have a
to
motion.
approve the agenda.
Motion. to approve.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Burns. Second, Mr. Hawkins. Go ahead.
Councilperson White,
Aye.
Councilperson Burns,
Aye.
Councilperson Paris,
Aye.
Council Vice President Maples,
Aye.
Councilperson Cross, Councilperson Cross,
We lost Donnie. He's off.
Councilperson Webb,
Aye.
Council President Owen,
Aye.
Councilperson Hawkins,
Aye.
Councilperson Ellis.
Aye.
Donnie, are you back? Okay. Zero. Donnie, you there?
Yeah.
Councilperson Cross, do you vote for approval of the agenda, either A or nay?
Is that an aye?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes 9-0. Now we'll go to the claims. Ms. Metcalf, you want to go ahead?
Yes, I have a duplicate on page 5 of the Civil City claims. It was for $57.57 to Park Power Services. So if we deduct that from the total, it gives you a new total of $738,700 $727.05.
Any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Hawkins, second, Mr. Maples. Roll call.
Councilperson White,
Aye.
Councilperson Burns,
Aye.
Councilperson Paris,
Aye.
Council Vice President Maples,
Aye.
Councilperson Cross,
aye,
Councilperson Webb,
Aye.
Council President Owen,
Aye.
Councilperson Hawkins,
Aye.
Councilperson Ellis,
Aye.
9-0, President Owen.
We have parks claims in the amount of $54,103.73.
Correct.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Maples, second, Mr. Hawkins. Roll call.
Councilperson White,
Aye.
Councilperson Burns,
Aye.
Councilperson Paris,
Aye.
Council Vice President Maples,
Aye.
Councilperson Cross,
Donnie.
Councilperson Cross, Councilperson
Aye.
Webb,
yes, aye,
Councilperson Owen,
Aye.
Councilperson Hawkins,
Aye.
Councilperson Ellis.
Aye.
Did Cross respond?
Yes, Croft, you got.
Okay, it's 9-0.
Thank you all.
All right. We don't have a report of the clerk. Do you have anything, Ms. Gill?
No, I don't.
Okay. We don't have any new business or unfinished business on the agenda tonight. Attorney comments?
Yeah,
Larry?
just a couple things real quick. I want to emphasize to you all again, and I want it to be clear, and I want Les to chime in if he feels the need. So long as you all are doing the things that are necessary under these extraordinary circumstances, I am comfortable and confident that we can defend any procedural complaint that anyone may file. And the basis of that is the governor's order. This is an emergency situation. And I know each of you and known each of you for quite a while. And I know you're going to do nothing that is not absolutely necessary to ensure the safety of the citizens, the safety of the employees, and to ensure we have police, fire, and all services. So please operate with an understanding that when the world changes and we get back to the old way, we will worry about what stick goes in what pot and what rock goes under what stone. Right now, do business, gentlemen, as you have been.
Thank you, Larry. Anything to add, Les?
no, I concur.
Easy enough. Department head reports is next. We do have Paul Northam with Parks Department and Andy Crouch
Yeah, I'm
with
back.
Engineering and Public Works. One of you guys want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll start off. Thank you for letting me come and talk with you. So what I'm talking about tonight is the Duffy's dredging. We've had a few phone calls from residents and boaters asking when we're going to get down and clean out the silt on the boat ramp area and in the boat docks. And we haven't dredged since 2018. And as a matter of fact, in 2018, about 6 or 7 months after we dredged, we had customers or residents complaining that the silt had washed all back in there. The past 3 years, we've had an increased amount of flooding, and which also means silt buildup. It means debris on the docks, debris on the shoreline of Duffy's and Fisherman's Wharf. increased work for my guys to clean it up. But that's really, we're keeping up with that. Okay. It's the dredging that we need to talk about. I feel, and I'll let Andy speak on this, but I feel like this could be done every year. I know it's an expensive situation, but if we want people to be able to enjoy Duffy's Landing and the docks and the ramp down there, it's going to need to be done. I mean, we tried to get away with every 2 years, and since 2012, we did it every 2 years. But in the past 2 years, the increased flooding, I think, has caused us to have to step that up a little bit. So I'll let Andy talk a little bit about the dredging process.
Yeah, I don't know that I like talking about how many years in between we have to do it, but between however many floods we have to do it. We could go for 5 or 6 years without a flood and not have a problem down there, but we could get 2 or 3 floods in a year and have to do it more than once. So it's really dependent upon how high the water gets. We have a lot of problems in the spring. We have to get 2 permits in order to do what we need to do down there. One is from the Corps of Engineers, one is from the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. We have a 10-year permit that doesn't expire until 2024, so that we're good on that one. Our IDEM permit ran out this past December. If we're going to do this, we're going to have to apply for another one. Normally, that would take, I would say, under normal circumstances, you're probably looking at 3 to 4 months. I haven't talked to anybody about getting permits since the COVID-19 issue. I'm not sure the staffing level what that looks like. I can tell you that the last time we did this, it cost the contract was for, I believe, $68,000. We kept all the material on site, and we were able to disperse that up at Duffy's Landing and kind of spread it out. I don't think Paul wants to do that this time. I don't think we have the room to do that. So if we have to haul it off, it's going to cost probably considerably more.
That's right. That's right. We were able to lose it on site last year. We dug a huge hole and filled it in with the silt. It was good topsoil, and it helped out the grass up there on the hillside. But I don't think we can lose that this year. If we do the dredging this time, I don't think we could lose it. It's going to have to be hauled off. I think in the Kentucky side, they can just lose it in the river, but we can't. We have to haul that to a dump site.
Yeah, the dredging rules are not a Corps of Engineers issue. We have to get a permit from them, but the dredging rules that really apply come from either Kentucky's Division of Water or Indiana's Department of Environmental Management. Like Paul said, Kentucky's Division of Water lets you just push it back out to the river. We are not quite so lucky. We've got to pull it out and haul off.
You say the permit might take 3 to 4 months, Andy?
I would say under normal circumstances, it would take 3 to 4 months. Bill, I'm not sure what it would take at this point.
So are we going to?
Can you guys?
Anyway, we can wait till next year.
Well, we can't do anything. If I had a permit in hand right now, I could not do anything until June 30th. June 30th. That's the rules because of fish spawning season.
Right.
May I ask a question?
The issue that we've had in the past
Yeah.
is we wait until June 30th, which we would have to do. We generally don't want the construction procedures going on during boating season, so we push to the fall, which would fall in line with getting permitting, to be honest. I don't know that it falls in line with the boaters for this year, sadly. I'm not sure how bad it is down there at this point.
What's the cost of applying for a permit?
We can apply for a permit very, very cheap. That's not very much cost at all, Scott.
Well, and a permit is not a guarantee of completion, correct? It's just permitting you to do that, or are you saying in this type of permit, are you guaranteeing that will be done if you're granted the permit?
A permit would be just that. That would be Indiana, the state, allowing us to do the work. We still have to go out for bids, quotes, and get the work.
Andy, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay. On that permit, can you just clamshell that, or do they is the Corps of Engineers okay if you clamshell that out, or do they gripe about that? Your permits, does it enable to where you just dredge it and it goes on the land where you got a retention base, or?
It has to be clamshelled out and has to be taken upland to the point that the runoff water will not go back into the river, neither the dirt nor the water.
My understanding is if it doesn't break surface, then you can clamshell it out back into the river. On how
I've had that conversation with IDEM a couple of years ago. They were adamant that that was only a state of Kentucky issue. Indiana would not allow that. I wish that weren't the case. We pushed the issue pretty hard years ago.
Les, is that
I don't mind asking the question again.
A question for Les, is that worthwhile for the administration to approach IDEM or whoever and see, or DNR or whoever, and see if that's something that can happen on our side? It sounded like to me that wasn't a definitive no. It was just you had to get more permission. It saves money.
That's
well,
not
we
the
can
way-
ask.
That's not the way they, even with a permit, they just said they would not let us push it back out to the river.
I'm sort of along Scott's line of thinking here. I mean, we might as well go ahead and apply for the permit.
I
It's
agree.
going to take us a while to get, who knows how long that's going to take. And we're not quite sure how that may even fall into the voting season. So, and then once we get to permit, then we can, between now and then, we can work with DNR and IDEM to see what our options are. And then once we get the permit, then a decision can be made regarding how to proceed. What do you think,
I don't
Andy?
mind moving forward with the permit at all.
And
Andy,
how
will
long
that-
are those
will that
permits
permit-
usually good for, Andy?
Yeah,
They're usually good for 2 years.
Andy,
Yes.
I do know that Madison Marina, and I'd love for you to check on this. It would help me out down the road because we've got to dredge and put it on our own property on a retention basin too. But I do know Madison Marina got away with, they dumped it right back into the river.
Yeah,
I mean, it's worth,
I've heard this over and over again from other people that say that there's other places up and down the Ohio, even on the Indiana side, that does it. But when I've called those, the details are a little unclear, or they didn't get a permit at all, or then I call IDEM and they just tell me that it's not possible. So I don't know. I hear you. I
Yeah, I
don't-
know. They're tough. It's
I
DNR.
mean, I guess if we knew the communities, we could request a copy of their permit,
There you go.
see what the permit says.
That's possible.
Unless, as we've discovered, the real answer usually just depends on finding the person that has the ability to give, well, the real answer.
Mm-hmm.
So they very well could be that they did it and asked for forgiveness afterwards.
Right.
No, I did hear Madison. They had the permit to dump because they were putting it on land, and they got in a situation. And I can probably call up there to ask who applied for it because a lot of times they know who to talk to. You know, it's all who you know. And they got it to where they dumped it out into the river.
So they pulled it on the land and then put it back in the river.
They put it on the land, then it got too cumbersome, and they couldn't deal with it. And I don't know, the city of Madison got involved or what, but they were pumping that directly into the river.
Maybe that's a post permit issue. Maybe you get it back on the land and maybe then you have to come back in and do something, a hardship case or something like that to get it back in the river.
Well, I think the moral of the story is we've got folks that are social distancing and staying at home, and we can't get out and do much. And boat season's around the corner, and you can social distance on a boat. The problem is Duffy's is going to be in a bad shape, and we're not going to be able to get people in and out of the river easily. And you know, after being cooped up for several weeks, that's not going to make things any better when people go to try to get the boat out and they can't because we haven't got it cleaned up down there. So, I mean, I understand we can't do anything until the spawning season's over anyway, but at that point we need to be ready to go as soon as we can. I don't know what that's going to take. Maybe we need to try to make some calls up to the state and see if we can get some help with that. But we got to make sure that we're keeping these permits up so that we're not in this situation over and over.
I can
Steve,
call
you
someone
guys-
in Madison as well. That would help.
Yeah, Steve, do you guys, I mean, you dredge at your place. Are you, I mean, are you only allowed to dredge during that certain time period?
Yeah, it's a certain time period you got to stick within. It's not so much the Corps of Engineers that's hard anymore as it's the DNR on Indiana, because Kentucky, they're dumping in the river right and left. I know guys used to go up and down the river, and of course there were fly-by-nights. They could always just clamshell it and get in the river. Another thing you could do, and I know this sounds barbaric and primitive, you could get a long trailer, like a wagon trailer. You put a flat piece of metal on it. You go in and out, in and out. At least that would help you with the launcher ramp to where you could get 2 lanes of traffic launching your boats in and out. That's not going to help you out on the slips. But it's always going to be a problem. That river's is just mean.
Well, I think at the very least, we need to go ahead and start the process of getting that permit back.
Yeah.
And then we will look at how we can fund this enterprise once we have the permit in hand. We can't do anything immediately, so I don't think we need to take any action tonight officially, other than to say, hey guys, go ahead and start on that permit process and see what we can do to make this as easy and as expedient as possible. So you guys are good with that?
That sounds good.
Then we'll go out for some quotes at that point.
Andy, give me a call. We'll try to get a hold of that Madison Marina and see who they talk to, what they
I'll do
got.
it.
All right. Anything else, guys? Andy or Paul?
That's all I have. Thank you.
No, thank you.
All right. Council comments, Mr. White? He said no comment. He's muted.
No comment.
All right. Mr. Paris?
No comment.
I jumped over Mr. Burns.
No problem. I just say thank you to the administration for the dumpsters, and my hats off to the sanitation workers and the essential workers right now, because I've seen all the trash and things throughout the neighborhoods in my area here recently, and God bless all the first responders and doctors and things that are working right now.
Yep. Mr. Maples?
No comment.
Mr. Croft?
I'd just say this, all things considered, I think we're doing a really good job.
Mr. Webb?
I just want to thank everybody. I lost my brother to cancer April 9th. I'd like to thank the council for the flyers and the gifts and the cards. I'd like to thank Local 558. There's been a lot of people that reached out, and he wasn't a person where he wanted to, make a, I guess you say, a public scene, but I just want to thank everybody that reaching out. Thank you.
Well,
Mr. Hawkins?
Hey, I did want to just say condolences to Steve. I heard about that after the fact. That's tough for at any time, let alone now. And also I wanted to reiterate what Bill said. People know that they don't have a chance to have public comment. I had 3 different people as I kind of walked the neighborhood, wanted to say thank you to the administration in the city for those dumpsters. And I know it actually makes our life a little easier too, because every home doesn't have a pile of stuff in front of it. But that was very well done by the administration, and they like the fact that they stay for a few days. They move to a different neighborhood. It's all over the whole city. It's not just in one place. And I had 3 different people specifically stop me and want me to tell me thanks, of which now I'm passing along to the people that actually did something. So if Les, you could pass that along to everybody, that'd be great. That was well done, and that's it.
Okay. Mr. Ellis?
Yes, one of the things that I would like to discuss is the Catalyst Rescue Mission having those 3 tents set up on their property. I've had a number of calls from the people in the Claysburg neighborhood about having tents where they quarantine people there. And I think the city needs to get involved in that, especially my question is, where did they get the permits to set those tents up there, and why would they put them in the neighborhood of where there's the least resistance to the coronavirus. I would like to see someone from the city get involved in what's going on there. They've called me, and I've also instructed them to call the other council people at large, because we all represent that neighborhood as at-large members. And if there is a hot spot in Jeffersonville, is that the hot spot? And what can we do to mitigate that?
No.
I know
Any answers, anyone?
I've heard some things about this, and I know Dustin has too. Mr. White, do you have anything to add or any answers?
Yeah, it's my understanding that the tents will be coming down. They were put up by order of the Hart County Health Department in coordination with Catalyst, but it's my understanding that in the next 2 weeks they'll be coming down.
Yeah, I haven't spoke with anybody directly at the health department or at Catalyst, but I had heard some of the same concerns, and I heard that there was that was an immediate response to what was feared to be a large need, and I think that there has been an alternate plan put in place or ready to put in place, and like Mr. White said, that the tents would come down, but I don't know that to be factual. I do know that it was the health department that made that request initially. So thankfully, I don't think that they've had to use those on a wide basis, which is a good thing. Anything else, Mr. Ellis?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Thanks everybody for meeting tonight. The only thing that I would add is that there have been a number of questions about the city's budget, where we're going to be financially because of the pandemic. Hopefully folks are still able to get their property tax payments in. Those payments could be delayed, and hopefully we won't see a huge decrease in that revenue. But we may and we need to start making some preparations for the immediate loss of revenue, and then also the long-term loss of income tax. Several cities across the nation, rather, have already talked about furloughing employees. I don't think that that's going to be the case for the city of Jeffersonville. We're going to do everything that we can. I can speak for the whole council. I think just the folks watching on Facebook. We're going to do everything we can to keep essential services running and not furlough employees. I think that all of our full-time people are going to be in good shape. We'll have to tighten some belts and look at some places in the budget where we can maybe push off some spending. But altogether, I think this council and the councils before have done a good job of making sure we're in a strong financial position, and we will get through this. We have strong reserves. We have a strong rainy day fund, and we'll be able to mitigate whatever comes our way once we get a better idea of the numbers. And I think Ms. Metcalf would agree with that. And we'll roll with it as it comes. So thank you everybody for being here tonight. We'll get back together for our next meeting in May. And until then, I will see you all later. Is there a motion to adjourn?
That's it.
All right, motion by Mr. Maples.
Second.
You all good night. And seconded. Thank you all.